All right. Let me take a look at this. Let's do this. Okay. Sweet. We got that. Let me. It's probably fine, right? I'm just a little bit paranoid about audio quality, but we'll be fine surely, right? Okay. Why does it... What's the difference between it having like a small embedded thing and it having a big one in Discord? It's like every time I post my Twitch channel, it's like a 50-50 as to whether or not it shows the big one or the small one. Yo, what's up, Jerp? Didn't you tell me it was like your P or something? I'm not supposed to pronounce the J like that. Sick, too bad I missed last week. It's all good. Yo, what's up, CDOM? How's it going? We are finally coding. It's gonna be a bit weird, I think, today, but we'll see how it goes. So, like, we're gonna be working on the Twitch bot, and I have like slightly mangled it, so it's functional, but it's like it doesn't have any of the commands that it used to. So we're gonna like do some surgery here, and we're gonna copy some command code back into the project, and we'll see how that goes. But no, because I mean it was working for a while, as like in the current state, kind of, where it was like running in the background, and you could interface with it. I'm hyped, sweet. Um, and like all the commands and stuff were connected to it, but I like redid all the core of it, because like it was separated into two different things. It was separated into the background process and the core logic, but because the background process is like is like acting as an HTTP server, even though it's all local, it got weird with like handling state and stuff like that. So I had to combine the two projects. So now instead of having like the background process and the core functionality, they're just like the same project. And that took a bit of refactoring. So in that process, I had to like simplify everything. So all the commands do not exist anymore. The code for them is still on my GitHub somewhere. So so we're gonna have to do some surgery. Um, let's let me. So I've got some stuff pulled up. Let me clean it up a little bit. Yada yada yada. Okay, that's fine. Because I was working a lot with. Is this set up right? Is that gonna show me the correct thing? It looks correct. Is the chat not showing up? Hang on, chat. Oh, you're just all the way at the bottom. Okay, got it. Never mind. We're good. I was working on like authorization stuff, and so I couldn't do that on stream, but I'm pretty sure I've got everything figured out in terms of authorization. So we can finally move on. Yo, what's up, Clortax? How's it going? Share stream. I feel that I just migrated all 50,000 lines to TypeScript, and now it's around 75,000 with all the changes I just made too. Jeez. That's kind of funny because at work we are trying to do a similar thing. 150. Let me know if I should make the text bigger. We can go to 200. You can really see what I'm working on. No, like one of our big projects is JavaScript, and we are trying to look into transitioning to TypeScript. And so we're like transitioning one of our smaller projects to see what that process is like. But yeah, I don't know how big our big project is. I don't know if it's 50,000 lines. It's quite a large project, but I don't. It's hard for me to kind of like picture 50,000 lines. Anyway, so let me show you what we've got here. So a bunch of stuff. This is the main function. This is the main function of the daemon, which is like the thing that runs in the background. And then I've also got a CLI project. So here, let me like, my face cam is covering this stuff on the right actually, so that's probably not gonna be helpful. You know what? Let me just show you. Do I have it open? I've got it open here. Okay, let's go into the CLI. Let's open me up a terminal, please. Don't make it PowerShell. Give me shumd. And then is there a way? Can I like zoom in? I can. Okay. So give me Stonebot CLI. Oh, actually, I'm gonna need to start the daemon in a different way. So let's cd out a couple of folders here. Give me the daemon. What is it? Bin debug net 10.0. Okay, and then let's start the daemon. No? Did I spell it wrong? Daemon bin debug this thing. Did I spell it wrong? Stonebot daemon. That looks right, no? Oh. There we go. I hate PowerShell, man. Okay, there we go. Yo, what's up, Vlad? How's it going? I mean, depending on how you do it, it's a bitch to do manually. I use GLM 4.7 for it. Is that an AI thing? I don't know what that is. But yeah, no, we're starting to use some AI stuff for it. I don't think we've gotten to the point where we can use the AI to like rewrite large portions. Obviously it still like requires thorough review. I have heard that one person on a different like in a different division of the company used the AI tool to like rewrite. I think they didn't even go from JavaScript to TypeScript. It was like an entirely different language. I think it was like from JavaScript to C# or something, or maybe it was Go. I don't remember what the language was, but it was kind of interesting to see like large tasks be taken on. But yeah, I don't know how we're gonna do it. It'll be interesting because like as far as I'm aware, you can have like partial projects where like you can just like disable warnings or whatever, and you can have both TypeScript and JavaScript in the same project, and they'll like it won't be terrible. So we might just like do it in chunks, or I don't know, we might try and do the whole thing in one go. It's probably not a good idea to do that, but you know, whatever. Same, but I refuse to use WSL, so I am stuck in PowerShell. Oh no. No, I don't understand why PowerShell is dumb like this. Like, do I need to add the .exe onto the end of it? Is that why it was getting mad at me? Whatever. Pretending I know how the program works. Most coding I've ever done is on Arduino Uno. Oh, ads are about to start. Warning. All cool. What about you? Not doing too bad. Slay the Spire 2 is coming out in 2 weeks, so that's pretty cool. I'm gonna be playing that basically nonstop. I'm excited. Where was I? So okay, so we've got the daemon running. Give me the status. Status is okay, perfect. So I should be able to say Twitch status. It is not connected. Okay. I don't think I can connect. Oh, I can. Okay. That worked? No, it did not. The remote party closed the WebSocket connection without completing the close handshake. I mean, I didn't authorize, so I was kind of expecting the connection itself to fail. I'm very confused. I mean, okay, let's just disconnect it. Okay. My boy Defect was hitting the gym between games. Just glad he's in the sequel. Yeah. Okay. I'm getting made fun of because I wasn't sure whether or not the Defect was going to be in the next game. But I was really hyped when I saw him show up. That was awesome. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. No, he's one of my favorite characters in the first game, so really happy to see him back. Okay. Twitch auth refresh. Okay, now let's try connecting. Okay. Is he gonna throw errors at me now? It does not look like it. Okay. Cool. So that's basically as far as I've gotten. If I go into Twitch endpoints, /disconnect, here's connect. Here's the connect endpoint. So this is what gets hit when I type that connect command. So it checks a bunch of stuff, sets up credentials, and then actually attempts to connect here. And it's weird that it doesn't fail if I'm technically not authorized. That seems really bizarre to me. That it's still this still returns true. But I don't know, whatever. Anyway, we've got this. So anytime we receive a command, which I think by default is just any message that begins with like an exclamation point and then some text, Currently, we're doing absolutely nothing. We've got this to do. So this is what we're going to be filling out. Yeah, exactly. Exclamation point quack. Except it doesn't do anything. What we can do, at least for right now, just to see whether or not it's working, is we can say, do we have a logger? We don't have a logger in this function yet. So let's give me an iLogger of type. We should have like Twitch endpoints logging. There we go. Logger. So give me that. I'm gonna zoom out. Let me know if this is too difficult for you guys to read, because I can zoom in again, but I've got these like really long lines. It's way easier to navigate. Anyway, okay, so we can log. Let's log some info. And what is this? Okay, so we've got a command. Oh, that's it. Okay, we've just got a command. args.command dot name chat message dot message. Okay. So let's. Oh, that's right. This logging has to be a little bit weird. Chat message. Okay. Ugh, and it's gonna make me do this. Okay, this is kind of annoying. Okay, so if logger dot is enabled information. Okay, so if we're allowed to log information, then log the chat message. Okay. I'm going to get rid of this to do temporarily. Okay. Now, let's disconnect this guy. Let's rebuild our solution here. And now, I think I need to refresh the authorization every time I restart. I don't remember. Okay. That's cool. I'm sorry. Did my internet die? What's going on? Sorry, I missed a couple of messages. It deserved. Come on, man. It was reasonable. I mean, honestly, I was skeptical of using AI for big projects. I don't know if 50,000 is a big project or not. I would probably say so. But without it, it would have taken me probably 2 to 3 weeks to migrate. With AI, it took me 2 to 3 days. Yeah. Especially when it's like you're not implementing any kind of different logic. I feel like it's okay to use an LLM for that kind of a task. Especially if it's JavaScript to TypeScript, because like there's not really any language nuance that you have to worry about. I mean, TypeScript can be a little bit weird, but you know, and works better than what I did. Yeah, that's fair. That makes sense to use an AI for that. No connection. Oh, I have to restart the daemon. I'm dumb. Okay, now let's try refreshing the authorization. Hello, everyone. Yo, what's up, Sig Enderman? How's it going? What are we programming tonight? We are programming Stonebot. I broke Stonebot, so now we're trying to do some surgery here. We, because I'm honorary part of the team? Yeah. You all are here for coding. You're on the development team now, whether you like it or not. Okay, so we refreshed our authorization. Let's connect. So we should be connected now. It appears as if we are connected now. All right, somebody type exclamation point and then whatever. Type just something. Emotional support viewer. I'm doing my part. Exclamation point cord. Okay. I'm slightly concerned that nothing happened. We should have seen some kind of log. I don't know why we didn't. Wait, what was the message I got over here? No connection could be made because the target machine actively refused it. And that was on disconnect. Okay, I'm not understanding something. Okay, let's maybe, whoops, not that. Give me, go away. Duplicate, there we go. Give me a log that just says like, we are here. Horton, here's a Who reference. Okay. Let's disconnect. Disconnect. Okay. Close the daemon. Rebuild. Okay. Put the daemon back up. Refresh our authorization. Let's reconnect. Okay. Now it's the refresh. Here's the connect. Why is it not logging? We are not here. Just see if that works. Why iLogger? So it's a little bit difficult for me to explain the exact details of it. But like I don't know if it's technically a framework, but the framework that I'm using is ASP.NET Core, which is like this really neat tool where it's got a lot of stuff built in for like server hosting kind of. So like I'm only using localhost. You can probably see it somewhere here. Yeah, so like localhost Twitch Connect. So it's all just a local thing, but it's set up to be like a HTTP server. And it uses what's it called? DI, dependency injection. So I can modify this function to take in, you know, a configuration, some secrets, the Twitch client. You know, I can anything that's like configured in my program over here. It's like you can see the Twitch client here. The config is added here. The secrets are added in this one. I had to get a little bit fancy with that, but so like anything that's like registered as a service, you can just add to this parameter list and it'll give it to you. I don't have to change anything other than, you know, just adding the thing to the parameter list. It's pretty cool. And then it's got to be an iLogger because it takes in this type parameter, which essentially just gives it some context as to where the log statements are coming from. And so this is literally just like an empty, this class doesn't have anything in it. Its only purpose is to provide context for the logger. Okay, so we are here, we are not here. I disconnected everything, right? I don't remember what I did. I just noticed the light pattern on Stone's head. Wait, what? Oh, I'm dark now. Hang on. Okay, that's better. It was like really bright outside my window. There's a window like right in front of me. It was really bright out, so I didn't have my ring light on. Is this one gonna be Boulderbot? It should be. That'd be clever, but no, it's still Stonebot. I feel like until I release 1.0 version of Stonebot, I'm just gonna keep everything Stonebot. Debugging, everyone's favorite part, yeah. Live troubleshooting with chat seems pretty cool. It is. I don't have to do it myself. I can just tell everybody else to do it. Speaking of which, could somebody type exclamation point and then something after? Pick your favorite word. Hey Stone, I forgot. Are you a computer scientist or a computer engineer? Technically, I am a software engineer. I think computer engineers are more on the hardware side. Okay, it's still not logging anything. It's supposed to be printing out something. I mean, am I... Okay, let's disconnect. Okay. Can I get a little bit hacky with it? Whoa, did not mean to do that. Test. Second test. I mean, one of these has to work, right? One of these has to actually run. Unless I just completely forgot to build the project after I added these logging lines. That's entirely possible. Okay, let me refresh. Okay, let's connect. Where's the log statement? Am I losing my mind? I feel like I am. I'm not forgetting anything, am I? What am I missing here? It says Stonebot is connected, which only gets returned here if this connect attempt is successful. One of these two things has to happen. It's an if else. One of these is guaranteed to happen. For some reason, it ain't happening. I've got to be missing something. have no idea. I'm in release mode. Okay. It's fine. I don't know how that happened, but I was not in debug mode. I was in release mode. I'm gonna cry. Okay. Just build it. Why not? Might as well. Okay. Restart. Okay. Refresh credentials. Connect. Okay. We are here and we get test. Okay. Thank God. Now, if somebody would be so kind as to type exclamation point quote something. Yo, what's up, Glitch? How's it going? Yeah, you're going to have to hang on to the quotes for now because we're working on Stonebot. Sorry. Yes. It works. Whoa, I missed the quick trip comments. PHP just added a gender class. I'm sorry, what? PHP seems like one of those like very mystical, weird language. Like everybody talks about it in like a networking context, but I have no idea what it is. I see all the I see all the memes and stuff about it being super old but still somehow relevant. Also, Seiken Armin, I don't know why you're... Oh wait, no, it is a different one. Okay, never mind. Sorry. I thought I saw your exclamation point Descartes. Wait, isn't that supposed to go through? I'm confused. I don't know why your exclamation point Descartes didn't work. Hopefully I spelled that right. Okay, maybe I'm lost. Maybe it was a different thing. Anyway, sorry. Moving on. I meant software engineer. There's a different word before engineer in Italian. I feel like we've had that exact conversation before. Now I'm starting to remember. But yeah. I think I'm approaching my 3rd year anniversary of being a software engineer. Pretty cool. So Quick Trip has donuts for 99 cents after 3 p.m. So I just bought 7. How big are it's 99 cents, dude. That's a steal. Of course, I say that after having bought like, okay. So there were these muffins, right? I go to the grocery store. There are muffins at like the very front, you know, where they've got all the shopping carts and everything. There was a stand with a bunch of muffins, and there was a package with like 4 giant muffins. And when I say giant, they were like, you know, they were like decently sized. Maybe giant is a bit of an over exaggeration, but they were big muffins, and it was like $4. So I was like, wow, what a great deal. $1 for a giant muffin. And then I had one, and it was like, it tasted okay, but it did very nasty things to my stomach. And so I did not have the other 3 muffins. But hey, I don't know. Donuts for 99 cents? Maybe that's better. It's an if else. One of these is guaranteed to happen, but for some reason it ain't happening. I live for Quick Trip. I used to go to Quick Trip when I was in high school a lot, because I didn't like packing a lunch, and I didn't like the lunches that they served. So like senior year, when I was allowed to leave during lunch, I would always just go to Quick Trip. It was great. I keep saying one of the best feelings in the world is when you are debugging for 5 hours, and at 3 a.m. in the morning you find why and fix the damn issue. Happened 2 years ago with a friend. It was a fucking async await issue. Hated it. Oof. Yeah. Dude, async await, I feel like if you don't understand it intuitively, is like almost impossible to wrap your head around. It took me a while to fully get it. And I had to do a lot of research, like, because you can write functional code using async await, but if you make a mistake, then it's like it feels impossible to debug if you don't understand it. PHP is goated. Don't touch my PHP. Hey, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying I don't get it. I don't know what it is. I don't understand it. It could be great. All I know is that it's old. My web development journey started in PHP, but fuck PHP 5.3. Dang. Okay, we got mixed opinions on PHP. I might have to look into it. Best gas station ever. Okay, that Descartes showed up. Hello, mom. I'm on the stream. Not the muffins. Yeah. Wonder why these don't show up. So when you do an emote on Twitch, it'll sometimes add a space character in between the exclamation point and the emote. So like maybe it's because there's a space. If you try like doing the emote and then removing the space, it might work. I don't know. It looks like on it looks like on in my chat it's still putting the space in between the exclamation point and the emote. It might just like forcibly do it. That's kind of weird. Quick Trick 2 for $5 monsters. QT food is the only food I trust from a gas station. It's pretty good, yeah. I mean, occasionally I would get an upset stomach. But it was like I mostly had their pizza and sandwiches. They were pretty good. It took me many months to understand async await. My friend was like, just put await on everything. Now I do know how to use it. Now I do know how and only use it as needed. Yeah. I mean, like, it depends on the language. Because that was the frustrating part, is that there is a significant difference between the way that it works in JavaScript and the way that it works in .NET. So, like, that absolutely did not help when I was working in two different languages and they work two completely different ways. Because, look, this is the standard way to do it. Is you have your async function call, right? Your Twitch client.connect async. Then you have the await keyword. And then you have this configure await false. Do you know what this does? This is standard. This is like recommended for almost every situation. And yet, for some reason, it's not like the default. The default is for this to be true. Do you know what this does? This tells .NET that when you come back, when this process finishes, you don't need to return to the exact same thread that started the job. Right? Because we're going to be, some thread out there is going to be executing this code, and it's going to get to this await, and it's going to say, okay, I'm going to have to wait for this to finish, so I'm going to go off and do something else. When this eventually does finish, a thread has to pick up where the last one left off. If you don't have this part, then it forces the same thread that executed all of this code to come back and pick up where it left off. And because it left initially to go do other things, it could be very, very busy. So it might take this job might be done, but it's going to take a really long time, potentially, because it has to wait for a very specific thread to be open. But if you add this configure await false, that doesn't happen. It lets any thread pick up where the other one left off. So like everywhere where you use the await keyword, it is 99% of the time recommended to add this to the end of it. I don't know why it's not the default, but hey, I'm not the one that made the design decision. But yeah, so there are very slight differences between the way that C# does async await, or I guess maybe .NET is a better way to phrase that. But there's a difference between the way that .NET does it and the way that JavaScript does it, and it's very annoying, especially when those are the two main languages that you use. You still using WebSocket for channel chat message? I am not. I'm actually now using a package called TwitchLib, which is relatively old, and so it uses the old ways of getting chat messages. And it's got a lot more functionality. It doesn't disconnect constantly like my old one did. So yeah, it does make the project a bit bulkier, and a little bit bloated, but like it's got a lot more functionality now, and I don't have to manually worry about a lot of stuff under the hood, so makes things easier. That sounds oddly convoluted. Yeah, it does. That's because it is. You are absolutely right. Is there a reason why it's like that? Maybe. I couldn't tell you. Again, I think most people think that this should just, it should default to true, and you should just not have to do that at all. But I don't know, whoever made this feature decided to not have that as the default, and so now you just have to put this everywhere. Which is great, because this function, as you can see, this is not very easy to read, but the data type that gets returned is a configured task awaitable. So if I were to just don't do that. What is it doing? There we go. I just wanted to duplicate the line. Test. So if I do something like this, the value, or let me get rid of the await keyword just temporarily. Okay. So this test, you can see, is a task, and it'll eventually return a Boolean. If we add the await keyword, then it will return a Boolean, right? That's how the task works. If you await a task, it returns the type that it's going to return. So this is a task data type. If you add this .configure await false, this returns a configured task awaitable. So this is no longer a task. So if I wanted to, let's say, do two different things simultaneously, I could do, task dot when all, and then I can give it a list of a bunch of things to wait for. But I can't just make like tasks equals a new task array and then, you know, shove test and test 2 in here. I can't do that because test 2 is not a task. It's this weird configured task awaitable thing. So I can't do like 2 tasks at the same time if one of them has this configure await false. Like, I actually, are you allowed to like pass these in as parameters like this? Yeah, no, you can't even do this. It gets mad at you too. So it's just like, it's just, it's so weird. And like, you theoretically you don't even have to do that because your await keyword would be over here, and so you would do, you know, this. You know, your configure await would be over here, and so this could be a task. But it's just so weird, man. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but whatever. Good thing Node is single threaded. Yeah, that's the other big difference is that like .NET is multi-threaded, not what's the word? Concurrent. It doesn't use concurrency. It genuinely is multi-threaded. Okay, so we are successfully getting the messages. I can get rid of these log statements. Now we can actually maybe start working on stuff. Let me create a new folder here. What in the new folder? Okay. Let's call it Twitch message handling. Twitch message handling. Sure. Let me add a Twitch message handler. Cool. Give me the namespace of the daemon dot Twitch message handling. Give me an internal. This can be static, I think. Static class Twitch message handler. Okay, don't do that. Stop getting rid of my curly braces. I typed a curly brace explicitly so that there could be one. Don't take it away from me. Okay. So in here, we need something that takes in a sender and this on chat command received args. Okay. Oh, whoops. Internal static. We'll return void. Actually, this will be an async thing, so we'll return a task. On chat or on. Yeah, we'll say on chat command. Okay, and then we need to take in an object, a questionable object of type sender, and then whatever this is, args. We can put a good old Todo in there, and then in here, instead of this log statement, we can just say Twitch message handler dot on chat command. Boom. So now we don't have to worry about like all this other stuff. we've got this nice clean context to deal with. Bees. So you went to IARC? Yeah. I just left IARC. Twitch does not support many stuff with it anymore, so I went to webhooks now. That's kind of funny. Then how do you do that? Braces, brackets, parentheses, even. What are you referring to? I think I moved past whatever you were referring to. Sorry about that. Let's actually not make this static, I think is going to be the way to go about this. Because ASP.NET Core deals with singletons. So a static class just means it's like a context thing. It doesn't, you can't like create multiple Twitch message handlers. If it's not static, then you can create multiple Twitch message handlers. The singleton pattern basically means, well, you can make multiple Twitch message handler, but we're only going to make one. So we're going to do it this way because ASP.NET Core, that's how you like register a service. So we're going to do it this way. And then we're going to say private iLogger. Is that right? Where's my secret service? I've got a secret service here. Okay, yeah, it just is. It does just use that. Okay. I don't actually use the logger here. That's kind of funny. All right, we'll get rid of that. Don't need it. I don't need it. All right, so give me an iLogger of this guy. And then we'll say, give me this as a constructor parameter. And we'll store it here. I'll also say that this is read only because we're only going to, we're only going to assign it when we first construct the object. So despite the fact that the keyword is called read only, we are actually assigning it a value. Believe it or not. Okay, yeah, it's going to tell me that this can be static, but we're going to reference the logger here. So we're going to say underscore logger dot info args dot message dot message. Okay, so this in theory should do exactly the same thing that we had before, but now it's like within its own context, and we are actually going to have to register this as a singleton. So we'll just pop that there. And now in our endpoints here, now because this is not static, we can't just reference it using its type. So we are actually going to have to pass that in as a parameter up here. We could say Twitch message handler, Twitch message handler. So this is kind of what I was saying earlier, where I can just add this parameter and I don't have to worry about like the call site of this function. It'll do it automatically. And I can say dot on chat command. There we go. So now this should be effectively identical. I mean, we did have that if statement, so let's, I guess we could add that back. If logger dot enabled, if we're allowed to send information logs, then do that. Chat message. Okay. let's try reconnecting here. Disconnect. Perfect. We can stop that. Let's build the project. Sweet. All right, let's start this back up. Let's refresh our credentials and reconnect. All right. Now's where you come in, chat. Give me some more exclamation words. That is why I left C#. Yeah. It's a, like, I mean, the singleton pattern is like a relatively well-known pattern, so it's not like specific to ASP.NET Core, but pictures of Spider-Man. Dyson Swarm. But yeah, it does get a little bit confusing. Like, the reason why it's important is because this is all multi-threaded, right? So like this endpoint, this /connect, that's what happens when I type this, Stonebot CLI Twitch connect command. The CLI automatically makes a HTTP request. It's not like a network request, it's just over localhost. So it doesn't use the internet, but it makes an HTTP request to this /Twitch/connect endpoint. And so because it's acting as an HTTP server, it has to handle multiple different HTTP requests all at the same time, which could potentially run into issues if you, say, try to modify the same bit of data at the exact same time. Well, ASP.NET Core handles that for you. But in order for it to do that, you have to register it as a singleton. And the only way that you can have it as a singleton is if the class is not static. So it makes sense, like, when you think about what's actually going on, but when you're actually trying to implement it, yeah, it's a little bit weird. Crash the bot. Nice try. So close. I don't come from a school or anything. I've been learning on the fly what I need only. So basically, I don't know my basic. I don't even know basic sorting algorithms until I need one. I learn the fuck out of it. I mean, that's fair. That's completely fair. At no point in my 2.5 years, which I know is a long time, at no point have I ever needed to know a sorting algorithm. I mean, they didn't ask me anything like that in my interview, and even the stuff that they did ask me in my interview, I'm not actually using that information in my day-to-day work. So it's like, I think the way that you're going about it is perfectly fine. Just learn the things that you need to know in order to do the thing that you want. And like the vast majority of the time, you'll end up learning learning the types of things that the industry professionals are doing anyway. That's why it's like things like LeetCode, the website with like the computer science problems on it. A lot of people like dramatically overuse that. And it's like, don't get me wrong, it's fun. It's, it's like a problem solving. It's like a puzzle thing. But you don't really need that. And if you come across an employer that's like, hey, here's this LeetCode problem, solve it, and then you don't get hired because you didn't answer the question correctly, that's just a bad company. The reason that an interviewer would ask you a question like that is to see your thought process. They don't necessarily care that you get the question right. If you get the question right, bonus points, but what they're looking for is your ability to problem solve, your ability to think on the fly, your ability to solve the problem. And, they can slowly give you more and more information about the correct answer, and they'll see what you do with that. A good company, that's what they're going to be looking for. How you deal with that situation. And so, like learning sorting algorithms and stuff is great for the purpose of understanding why we need them. But they've been implemented in 5 bajillion different ways. There's absolutely no reason to reinvent the wheel. Anyway, sorry. So I don't know about patterns or stuff. I basically go spaghetti. That's fair. And like the singleton pattern, I almost never use. Like I've used it occasionally in game development just because the tools that I'm working with significantly benefit from it. But in most of my projects, it does not help. So the singleton pattern in general is like, I would say it's relatively well known, but very rarely used outside of like very particular tools. Yeah, but interviews ask those things, so I do not know. Yeah, again, it's mostly about how you approach the problem and not necessarily getting it right. Stone develops software that Interpol uses to spy you in your bathroom. Yeah, no, I would genuinely quit my job if I did that. I don't want to work on that kind of stuff. I did leak code, got to the 3rd problem, and my brain died. What the fuck is a chain link? Apparently you need recursion, and no idea how that works and how that's different from a for or while loop. So I've heard the phrase recursion is just fancy iteration before, and it's somewhat true. I mean, like, recursion at its core is basically just a function that calls itself. Right, so it's just this. It's just you define a function, and part of the execution of that function is to call itself. Right, and so you can take in a parameter that's like num, and you can say if, don't do that. If num is less than or equal to 0, stop, otherwise do num minus 1, right? So you've got your classic recursion setup. You've got your function, you've got the self call, and then you've got your base case. This doesn't actually like do anything because it returns void, but it is technically a recursive function. So then like dealing with certain data structures, it's just easier to use recursion. It's more intuitive. It's like if you're using something like a binary tree, right? Which is basically like, okay, you've got some bit of data here, and you've got 2 things that are coming out of it, right? 2 related bits of data. And those themselves each have 2 related bits of data, and those have 2 related bits of data, and so on. That's what a binary tree is, right? It's just a data structure that's formatted in that particular way. Well, if you're like somewhat down the tree and you're at a particular point of the data, you're still in a binary tree. It's just like a smaller binary tree, right? Because at every single data point, they've got 2 related pieces of data underneath them. So it makes sense to use recursion there, because at any given point, you're always dealing with a binary tree, right? It might be like a subsection of the binary tree, but it's still formatted like a binary tree. So then you can like drill down into the different data points using recursion. And so it, like conceptually it can help in those particular circumstances. But anything that you can do with recursion, you can also do with just a regular for loop. You might need an additional data structure to help you keep track of things, but you can absolutely just use a for loop. So like recursion also is one of those things that seems to trip people up, similar to like async await, like we were talking about earlier. Excuse me. It's one of those things where you just have to learn it slowly, and you've got to use it in order to understand it intuitively. And even then, some people can't wrap their head around it. It took me a really long time to figure it out, but yeah, it's one of those things. Yeah, for example, the O of N thing or big O notation, I had to learn the gist of it a few weeks ago because now the bot processes a lot of shit and it's getting slow, so that has helped a lot actually. It's faster now. Nice. Yeah, big O notation. It's another point that can trip people up because some people will get obsessed with optimizing their big O, their time complexity is what big O notation measures, which does not always fix performance issues, but it can. Chainlink is what they make fences out of. Yeah. There is something called a linked list. I don't know that I've heard of something specifically called a chain link, but I mean, there are very similar data structures that are basically like, okay, here's a piece of data, and here's a link to a different piece of data, right? And then there's just all kinds of different types of linkages. Under the hood, all data structures are just arrays. They're just lists of things formatted in fancy ways. So, it's basically just a list. Yeah, but a recursive function worked, but when I tried a for loop, it always failed or missed a number. And I don't know if it was because my lack of chain link understanding or what. Yeah, so like usually the alternative to a recursive function is using a queue or a stack data structure to like keep track of things. And I wonder if there's like a good visual for this. Recursion versus iteration. Okay. Can I? Yeah, there we go. Make it dark mode, please. It was blinding. So yeah, you can see a similar sort of function here. It takes in an integer. Let me zoom in here. If it's equal to 0, it returns 1. Otherwise, it returns that number times, and then here's the self reference. And then the alternative to this. Okay, so they're not actually using a data structure here. Just kind of weird, but it's like, is there a more complicated example? No. I don't think I've ever used. I know there's an example in when we were looking at the Will You Snail code. There was a pretty decent example of using iteration where you also could have used recursion. Yeah, I'm struggling to think of an example. but depending on the task that you're trying to solve, you might need additional data. Obviously, the best thing to do if given a task in an interview is to panic and run away. Yeah, I mean, they have to call you back, right? Just to check up on you, right? They wouldn't ghost you or anything like that, right? Like they have to call back. Speaking of tree, I added AST abstract syntax tree to the parsing function of the bot messages, and honestly, that was made entirely by AI and no idea how it works, but it works. I don't know that I've ever heard of that. Abstract syntax tree. Maybe I've heard the name before, but I have no idea what it is. It sounds interesting, though. Yeah, it was a linked list. Forgot its name. Oh, okay. Yeah. It's weird. Well, maybe it's not so weird that you would use a linked list or use recursion to navigate a linked list. It is strange, though. It's like a linked list is basically like if I make a struct here, struct, which is basically just a collection of different pieces of data. I'll just call it thing. We'll say int num and then thing called next. Why is it getting mad at me here? Because of the cycle in the struct layout. Oh no. I'll just make it a class. There we go. Okay. So then, you know, to like thing like get fifth next or something like that. Or you know what, we'll get next and take an integer of like count and also a thing. So then you could be like the iteration way of doing this would be, you know, you've got your, why does it keep doing that? Stop doing that. var I equals 0, I less than count, I plus plus, y, I forgot my semicolons, okay. Can have var current thing, assign it to thing, and then we say current thing equals current thing dot next, right? Why is it getting mad at me? Okay, I have to make these public. And then return current thing, right? Why is it mad? Oh, okay, whatever. It wants me to make this internal. No. Okay. So anyway, this would be like the iterative version of navigating a linked list. Because this is effectively how a linked list works, right? You've got your actual piece of data here, which in this case is just an integer. And then you've got a link to whatever the next piece of data is. Then so like you would navigate it by, you know, you've got something that keeps track of the current piece of data that you're looking at. And then you just run through getting the next piece of data, getting the next piece of data, so on and so on, until eventually, you know, you get to count. The other way of doing this, the recursive way, would be to like say if count is equal to 0, return thing. And actually let's move this up top. So that would be our base case. Otherwise, we're going to return get next of count -1 and thing.next. This would be the recursive way of doing that. So every time we call get next, we decrease our count. Eventually it gets to 0. When it does, we just return thing, and we make sure that we pass the next link in the chain every time, right? So these two are effectively equivalent. That's why I bring a tech deck to every interview, so if I don't know the answer to a question, I can blow them away with my sick finger kick flips. Dang, you can do kick flips? That'd be awesome. Maybe we should do an interview so I can ask you a tough question and see that trick. The example they gave me was like link, value 5, link, value 7, link, and so on. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. It was next, no link, but still applies. Oh, yeah. So like this could be null. This could be empty. So like, you could have another base case that's like, if thing is null, then I don't know, just return, yeah, sure, null, I guess. Whoop, don't stop. I keep doing command ? Instead of shift. Yeah, I mean, I think it'd be a little bit different in JavaScript, maybe, but similar idea, yeah. Anyway, tangents, sorry. I like talking about coding. It's like the one thing that I have a decent amount of knowledge about. Okay, so we were just logging, and this was working, right? You all were trying to crash the bot. Fantastic. Let me take a look at one of my previous versions of the bot, because 0.6. Is there a search bar? No. Let's try this one. January 21st, maybe? Oh, that just shows me, can I... Yeah, browse all the files here. Give me core. Yeah, so this was when I had it separated into core and daemon, and I combined these two. So that's what I was talking about at the very beginning of stream. I don't think it was... Wait, was it in the core? I'm confusing myself now. Public interface, maybe? Twitch? No, it wasn't in the interface. Twitch. Oh, here we go. Bot. Okay. Yeah, this is what I'm looking for. This function here. Give me that. Let's throw it in here. What this does is it takes in some text and it filters out invisible characters. So, I don't know if there's like a really good way for me to show it, But especially if you use an extension like 7TV, if you type the exact same message like 2 times in a row really quickly, normally Twitch would say, hey, you're typing in the same message, you're not allowed to spam, and it would prevent you from doing it. An extension like 7TV can catch the fact that you're typing the exact same message twice in a row, and it will add an invisible character onto the end of your message to get past the spam filter. But obviously we don't want to deal with those characters, so I've got this function here that just iterates over everything and gets rid of these specific invisible characters. So, honestly, I don't even remember how exactly this works, but I remember that it works. So, I'm not going to touch it, and we're just going to move on. I should do that for the bot, add invisible characters. Text sanitation because we never trust the user. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, this was in one of the previous versions. And does this even actually still work? I think I got rid of the exe. Oh, I didn't. Okay, it still works. Yeah, so I had a setting for it. Filter invisible text. Because this was in the old version. Soup to old. I say old, but it was like technically just the previous iteration. Whatever. It's fine. Okay. So we've got the command. We need to do something with the command. So now is about the point where we can begin our surgery. Because I've got the code for all of the commands. I just have to basically copy and paste everything. So let's try something simple first. Let's try the lurk command. Seems pretty straightforward. Let me add. Let's add a folder for this. Call it commands. And I'm going to change this later, I think. Because I think what I want to do is I do want the whole scripting aspect of it. Because right now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hard code all the commands into the executable. But lurk. But I do actually like the idea of making everything a Python script so it can be called... so like you can edit the commands without having to recompile and stuff. Okay, so I had a base thing here. I do like the idea of putting the word command on the end of it. Okay, but we're no longer in the core. We are in the daemon. And we are in the Twitch message handling .commands. There we go. Okay, so let's also grab that base class command. It was out. This one, there it is. Give me this. Let's add command. Pop that in there. We are in the daemon dot Twitch message handling dot commands. Okay. And then we had this thing called permission level, which I vaguely remember. So let's grab that. Permission level, perfect. Permission level, pop that in there. We're in the daemon. We're in Twitch's message handling. Okay, perfect. Let me just make sure these have the right. Yeah, internal abstract. That's right. Okay, just checking the access keywords. That looks right. All right, cool. It's not in there yet. You gotta wait for me to compile everything. Wish I could allow scripting, but nope. They will fuck up the VPS instance. That's why I created my own DSL, which is even worse. Yeah, that's part of the reason why I planned on making my bot entirely local. Because like a lot of the I don't know what to call it, infrastructure around making a Twitch bot is geared towards making it like a server side bot that people can like interface with, and so you have to manage that. But I didn't like that idea. I very much liked the idea of being able to write whatever code that you wanted. And so obviously you can't have that running on a server because users are malicious. So it's got to be all local, but I don't need that anymore. Get rid of some of this stuff. Okay. What just? Why would you do that? I'm sorry. Why would you do that? All I did was click. I don't know what made you think that was a good idea, but it was not. You were wrong. Okay, so this now, we need... I wonder if we should move this to the message handler. Could put it up here. Internal. Don't want to make it. Do I want to make it static? I don't know. Because I'm gonna need access to the client in order to do this. Yeah, I'm gonna need to pass it down to the command anyway, I think. Execute async. Unless it's part of the arguments. Okay, hang on. If I do args dot, I've got chat message and command. Okay, that doesn't give me what I want, I don't think. Okay, so give me a Twitch client up here. Okay. Give me a Twitch client. That way, when I am trying to execute things, I can pass it into here. Perfect. Okay, so then, yeah, I can do this. Yeah, let's store it. Give me some storage. Twitch client. Twitch client equals Twitch client. Put an underscore here. Okay. And then we don't have to do that. We can just say that, right? Yeah. Perfect. Okay, now we have a way to reply to messages. Twitch message handler. I'm just trying to think of like where this code should actually live, because maybe this is not the correct place for it. Let's see, do I want to pass the Twitch client? Do I want the Twitch client to be a parameter in here when I'm constructing the commands? Hang on, what was the issue that I had before? Did I have an issue? Maybe I didn't. I don't think we want to pass the client as a parameter to a command. Like then we're just gonna have a bunch of references to the client lying around, so I feel like it's better to just pass it in as a parameter. But then like then this is weird, right? Yeah, this is just a little bit confusing. Well, let's do this. Let's make this static. Right. And then, I mean, we'll need this. It's grayed out right now, but that's fine. So then, if we want to do this where we reply, we actually need to take in, was it the second or first argument? I put it as the second one. Let's put it as the first, actually. So then up here, I need to take in the Twitch client. Let's import the right thing here. So then I can say Twitch client dot. Oh, am I might be slightly dumb. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm sure I'll run into some issue with like where I'm passing the Twitch client around. Whatever, man. It's fine. Wait, what? But you just... Am I losing my mind? Send reply. Oh, I am losing my mind. Okay, good to know. Gonna go lurk so I can let my phone charge with the screen off. I will hear you by headphones though. Alright. I appreciate you lurking. I mean, I could just pass a reference to the Twitch message handler itself. That feels bad. It feels like I should just pass the Twitch client and the Twitch API. I mean, I don't have that set up, but later on we can pass in the Twitch API. So then where the heck do I say this? Because you need a reference to it, right? I mean, this is just supposed to be like a helper thing. But if it's a helper thing, then it should be static. I am losing my mind. Apologies. Apologies. Okay. That's going to be static. This is fine. This we need Twitch message handler dot reply async, and then as a parameter we just pass in the Twitch client. Okay, it's a little bit convoluted because we take in the Twitch client in the message handler. The message handler is going to pass the Twitch client to the command. The command is going to reference the Twitch message handler and then pass the Twitch client into that. So it's going from the message handler to the command and then back to the message handler, which is a little bit weird because we could just reference it from the Twitch message handler to begin with, but the command needs access to it at some point. So it's like kind of weird. Kind of weird, but whatever. Okay. Let's do this. Private read only. Let us make an array of commands. Commands. And we can just say, give me a new lurk command. And then in here, we can iterate over all of the commands, and we can say if the command dot, oh no, we wanna, yeah, oh, that's right. If the keyword, right, because I don't think I support aliases yet, it's just the exact keyword. We can support aliases later on, but if the keyword is equal to args.command.name, then we can say command.execute async, and we can just return that. And we need to give it the Twitch client, we need to give it the args, and we need a cancellation token. We'll just say default. Do we actually need to give it a cancellation token? Maybe? I think we probably should, right? But it should be in here somewhere. So, and execution cancellation token. Okay. So the reason for the cancellation token is basically if you have a command that takes an absurdly long time, for whatever reason, maybe it's a bug, maybe it's supposed to take a long time, whatever, we want to give the user the ability to cancel the operation. Davy's unofficial son, how's it going? Also, thank you for the hydrate. Sorry, I missed that. So we're just going to use a default cancellation token, which means that you can't actually cancel it yet, but it's fine. Okay. So if the command keyword is exactly equal to the command's name, then it executes it. I don't know. We can just return a completed task if we don't see what we want. Am I missing anything? Let's try. Let's actually close out of this. Disconnect. I should have disconnected before I stopped the daemon. It's whatever. Build. Did I miss anything? Is it gonna actually work? Will it work? Okay, it succeeded. Let's see if it runs. All right, let me refresh my authorization here. Connect. Okay. Somebody try typing !lurk. Please and thank you. I realize that we're watching ads right now, so maybe not a whole lot of people heard me say that, but I can do it myself if I need to. I did not see it. It did not show up in my chat. It does not appear to have shown up in the logs either. I'm starting to not believe you. Oh, you typed !lurk like a while ago. Okay, I see. Let me try this. Oh, the bot responded. Oh my word. Okay, it didn't log it out. There's no logs of that command, but we can add the logs later. It's alive. It works. All right, so now we just have to add every single other command. And, you know, there are only a few of them. It might take us a hot minute, but it shouldn't be too bad. So some of these actually like write to files. Let me look at add quote. Yeah, so like what file is it looking at? Okay, so it acts as the resource manager. Yeah, you can, again, you can see these configure awaits are everywhere. So annoying. Okay, so we just need to like quote unquote recreate the resource manager, I guess. That'll be fine. Is this the first one that shows up? Yeah, add quote. Okay. Let's do that. Add quote. Whoops, that is not how you spell quote. Command. Pop that in there. Make sure I'm in the right namespace. The daemon, the Twitch message handling, the commands. Okay, add quote command. You gotta be a VIP to use the add quote command. Oh, right. Yeah, we need a Twitch client. Okay. And this is Twitch message handler dot get filtered text. There's our filter. We don't have quotes. And this reply async is what? No, it was Twitch message handler dot reply async, and then we have to pass in the Twitch client as a parameter. Okay. Yeah, and then this resource manager and the quote itself, I've got to recreate. I can just copy the quote class. That shouldn't be too bad. Let's actually do that right now. Commands, it should be like models quote. So I added a couple of things to the quote. So now it doesn't just store the text of the quote itself. It also, there's this spoken by variable, which I'm not actually like fully using yet. But there was that instance, if you remember, a while ago. I don't remember who it was, but somebody wanted to add a quote. And the joke was that instead of it being a quote or something that I said, it was something that like some random golfer said. And so I've added this. I realize this is probably really hard to see on stream. I've added this spoken by attribute. So now you can change who the quote was spoken by. And then when it was added and who actually typed the exclamation point command. Or who actually typed the command. Because I think it's kind of interesting to see who exactly was the one that made each command. Let me add a quote. Paste that in there. Okay, this is going to be the daemon models. All right. And like when I was transferring all the old quotes into this new format, a lot of them just didn't, like they're either all spoken by me or that random golfer, so like that wasn't too bad. But like this date added and added by, a lot of them didn't have, so they're just blank. That's what the question mark is for. Okay, let's take a look at this. And what do I need to import here? This guy? Okay, that looks like it worked. Resource manager, I'll do that last because I feel like that's going to be a bit of work. So let's just get this delete quote command. Give me a new item, delete quote command. I thought this was not going to take as much time as it has. I'll be honest. Whoops. Twitch message handling commands. Okay. Give me this. Just remove that for now. Give me a Twitch client. This should be a Twitch message handler dot that, and then give it the Twitch client. Same thing here. Whoop. Same thing here. I mean, at this point, what's even the point? Like, if I'm passing this thing around so many times, this doesn't actually help me. This does not actually help. It was supposed to be a helper, but it does not help. Let me do this with lurk first. That was the old implementation. If I just do this, so this is args.chatMessage. I assume this is this, and then the actual text, which is just this. Yeah. So like now I don't have to pass in the Twitch client because I'm just using it directly. I don't know. It's like it's technically more verbose, I think. Maybe not actually. Yeah, I don't know. I think it makes a little bit of sense though. Okay, so lurk command, let's add this. So this is the Twitch client dot send reply async, and we need to give it the joined channel, which is what, args dot command dot, what was it? That channel, okay. Wait, it was the chat message dot channel, okay. Chat message dot channel, and then args dot chat message dot id, and then the actual thing. Whoop. Okay. There we go. Now for delete command, add quote. Yeah, that one. It's not implemented yet. Just wait. I promise I'll get there. All right, args dot chat message dot channel, args dot chat message dot id. Okay. Excuse me. I could be fancy here, I think. I don't know that I want to be fancy here. Okay, this is the message handler now. Do I want to be fancy? The heck? Args.chatMessage channel, args.chatMessage.id. Whoops. Okay. I will not be fancy, I think. I think it's better if I don't be fancy, because then I don't have to deal with changing everything later. Args.chatMessage. Oh wait, no, this one's the ID. This one is the channel. There we go. Because like, an optimization that I could potentially make is instead of making this async, I just return the task directly. And then instead of, you know, having this await and then an empty return statement, I could just say, okay, return the task itself. And that would be valid. The problem is I have to do that everywhere where I'm returning. And I would have to return like down here where there are two simultaneous await statements. I could do what I was doing earlier and put two tasks into a list and then await both of those tasks simultaneously, but that's a little bit too fancy, I think. I think that's getting a little bit lost in the sauce. Encoding whatever you think is going to take multiplied by 3, and that's the actual time it's going to take. I didn't even have an estimate. I was just like, yeah, this will probably take, it's just copy and pasting a bunch of stuff, right? Of course, we did go on like an hour and a half rant of like learning coding stuff and leet code and recursion, linked lists, and stuff like that, which was fun, but it was a little bit distracting. No, I think a lot of the time was taken by just trying to figure out why why it wasn't printing out those log statements, and all it was is because I was in release mode. It's fine. I'm not upset. Yeah, let me get rid of this stuff. This is basically, yeah, that's done. I probably don't need to worry about that anymore. Program. Also probably don't need to worry about this. Yeah, I think that's done basically. Okay, we can get rid of this Todo because the Todo is now in the command here. All right, so we've got add, delete. What's next? Discord. Yeah, that's just hard coded in. The link to my Discord, that is. Discord command. Bam. All right. Stonebot daemon dot Twitch message handling dot commands. Give me a Twitch client. Give me a Twitch client dot send reply. Give me a lowercase l. I don't need a big L. Channel args.chat message dot ID. Give me the correct ID. Okay, there we go. That should be that one. Edit quote command. Give me a new file. Edit quote command. Twitch message handling commands. Give me Twitch client. Resource manager, that's fine. Twitch client dot send reply async. Give me a args.chat. Oh wait, I have chat message here. Interesting. Is that a good idea? I think so, probably. Oh, I have it. I'm a little bit dumb. Can I still say that the bot is still my bot and code when I didn't write a single line of code on the new migration? We're starting to get philosophical now. I mean, I would say yeah. I mean, like, you did use an LLM, but also it didn't, like, change any logic, really. It feels like just a slightly more fancy formatter. You know? So I feel like you still made the big decisions. I mean, so this is fine to use it here, I think. It's just a little bit weird. It's a little bit weird. Because like here I'm using these so often. So like chat, I could say channel is equal to chat message dot channel, and then chat message. That doesn't even like help really. Where else am I using this chat message thing? Literally nowhere. All right, goodbye. Glad we got that figured out. Yeah, Discord doesn't need anything like that. I'm gonna just get rid of that. I'm gonna just get rid of it. There's no need. Args.chatmessage.channel. Args.chatmessage.id. This is Twitch message handler. I mean, yeah, I think the reason it went flawless was because it had a base to go with. The AI only made the required types for the type safety of TS, which was all inherent by the JS code already written by me. Yeah, exactly. So I would say you're good to claim ownership. Send raw. Ooh. That sounds exciting. Args.chatmessage.id. Okay. Anybody want to send raw with me? Any raw senders? Client, that's not how you do that. It's Twitch. Client.send reply. That's not how you spell send. Okay. Args.chatmessage.channel. Args.chatmessage.id. Whoops. Exclamation point raw. I don't actually know what it does. I don't really understand. Hang on. Twitch client.send raw async. Sends the raw. Okay. Yeah. All right. Don't know what it means. That's literally the description. It's just yep, here's what it looks like. The description is sends the raw. Okay. I'm not going to argue with you. That's, yeah, it just sounds like you know what you're doing. Channel args.chatmessage.id. I went from being skeptical to using it for front end to using 2.5, is that billion tokens last month of LLM, and that was because I was afraid to hit monthly limits, but I only use like 10% of my quota, so I just downgrade my subscription. That makes sense. Yeah, it's like I feel like a lot of people just don't understand the use case for it. Like if you use it wrong, then it looks really, really dumb. And don't get me wrong, it is relatively dumb. But if you know how to use it, it can be really effective. And it's not like a one size fits all sort of thing, right? Like it's not a do everything tool. There are definitely things that it does better than others. But that doesn't mean it's useless. Feed command. Oh. Okay, I don't need that. Oh, that's right, I gotta change the namespace. Daemon, Twitch message handling, commands. Okay, there we go. give me, nope, don't do that. Give me a client. There we go. Okay, get rid of that because that's, excuse me, it's garbage. I got rid of it here. Okay, lurk, didn't need it. Yeah, this is a bit weird because it's formatted differently. So I'll just format it the same way all the rest are. Edit. No, we were on feed. It's just a tool, and you still need to know programming skills and how to use the tool. It's like cutting a tree with a hammer. It's doable, but yeah, exactly. Switch client. Oh, don't do that. Oh, what are you doing? What just happened? Why am I on this? What? I don't even know what I did. I tried to undo and it just panicked. Okay. args.chatmessage.channel, args.chatmessage.id. Okay. I was gonna say something and then I forgot. Thank you, Visual Studio. As helpful as always. args.chatmessage.channel, args.chatmessage.id. Are we getting tired of me saying that yet? Because I am. I'd rather cut a tree with a saw like this. It's actually a great use of that emote. It's kind of a shame that I stopped doing any percent right after I made that emote. I feel like that's the first like legitimately good use of the emote. I could be misremembering somebody else using it though, but you don't get many opportunities nowadays. Okay, that should be good for that. Feed record. Give me this. Feed record command. I am going to have to add another model here. Commands. Twitch client. Twitch client dot send reply. No, stop. Stop doing that. Chat message dot channel args dot chat message dot id. Okay, there we go. He saw. Oh, I didn't need the model because I have, okay, because I haven't implemented the resource manager yet. Do I want to implement the resource manager? Maybe. I think it's okay to implement the resource manager. Just trying to think of the scope of everything. Excuse me. I think it'll be fine though. I think it makes sense to add it. hug command. Stonebot daemon, Twitch message handling commands. Give me a Twitch client. Get rid of that. args.chatmessage.channel, args.chatmessage. Bet you can't guess what comes next. That's right. It's the ID. Twitch client.send reply async. Okay. So like, yeah, I don't know why I didn't do it with this one. But like this one, wait, I did do it with this one. I'm dumb. Okay, moving on. Hug command, I already did the lurk command, so now we got quote. Quote. Why does Q have to be all the way on the corner of the keyboard? It's so far away. Twitch client, there we go. Get rid of that. Give me a Twitch client dot send reply. args.chatmessage.channel and args.chatmessage.id. Thank you, Twitch, for messing up my chat just to tell me that there's an ad playing. Go Gadget Stonebot magic fix. I appreciate the contribution. Hopefully, with a little bit of magic, we can get this thing up and running. Client. There's probably a faster way to do this, but I feel like I'm so close to finishing. I might as well just keep going. Don't take that out of context. All right. I think we've got one more, right? Oh, we've got two more. Oh. I forgot I added the unlurk command. Why did I have to add all these useless commands, dude? You know what? I don't have to add these. I can just not add them. That is an option. But I feel like as soon as I make the decision to not add them, that's when people are going to start trying to use them. Just to spite me. I know how you guys think. Don't try to pretend like you would have acted any differently. Did I spell? No, it's okay. I can never remember if the T in YouTube is supposed to be capital. Oops. Maybe it is. But I'm going to keep it lowercase. Whoops. Don't do that. Okay. Chatmessage.channel, args.chatmessage.id. Twitch client dot send. Okay. Yes. Okay. That's what I figured. Thanks for confirming. Okay. Where resource manager? Resource manager. Get me in to your resources. Resource manager. I don't really know why I called it the resource manager, but it's fine. Okay. So we've got a bit of folder navigation to do. What? Give me this resource manager. Okay, config path. I'm just gonna paste that here. I don't need config path. I don't need the refresh. All of that stuff is taken or is dealt with. Custom data. That's what I need. Quotes file path, feed data file path. I don't need the protection. Okay, save refresh token. Don't need that. Load refresh token. Don't need that. Client secret, don't need that stuff. Load config, save config. That's all handled in a different way now. Load quotes I do need. Save quotes I need. Feed data. Okay. Just need all that stuff. We can grab this now. Throw it into here. Okay, so yeah, give me a system. Okay. Stonebot custom data. Quote. Right, we need Stonebot daemon dot Twitch message handling. And then, is it gonna recommend it? Nice. Okay. This man types on a keyboard all day for money. Learn how he does it. Yeah, honestly, one of the biggest things with like both Visual Studio and VS Code was learning how to use the command key. Because like, you know, multi-line editing, look at how fun that is. That doesn't use the command key, but but yeah, using the command key to like navigate entire words at a time, which I think is like, it works not just in like text editors, it works in like websites and stuff too. But that was like a game changer for me. I was navigating a single character at a time. I had no idea that you could hold the control key and navigate like so many characters at a time. It's actually insane. Okay, so resource manager. I mean, this is read-only state. So I'm going to change these to combine just to standardize everything here. I don't think this needs to be a singleton. I don't think it needs to be a singleton. I think we're okay to leave it static. I cannot wait for this to all go wrong because I have this be static. I can't imagine that it matters though, right? I have a very hard time believing that it matters. All right, give me the feed data model. Let's add feed data. That all looks good. Okay. For some reason, the online live streams I like to look at are coding. Is anything that is not game dev or web dev is too convoluted. Everyone is doing game devs. That's why when I saw your title, Make a Bot, I was like, fuck yeah. Let's go. Yeah. I mean, game dev has a lot of appeal, I feel like. It is very enjoyable. And there's a lot of tools nowadays to make it a lot easier than it was before. So it makes sense. But yeah, like general development also is pretty fun for me. Especially like this project. I mean, I'll be honest. There were a lot of times where this project was not fun to work on. But I feel like as soon as I like took a step back and realized what exactly I wanted this to be, then it became fun again. And I think that this project, as well as a lot of others, have really helped me get an idea for like what a piece of software should be, if that makes sense. Like what tools are necessary, how to use them. Because like I feel like if you just do game dev, then you kind of lose a lot of that context, and you're just like, oh well, the game engine has this tool, so I'll use that. And it's like, okay, but why are you using the tool? What is it for? Is there a better way to do this? And I feel like you just don't get to ask those questions when a lot of that stuff is given to you. And so it's very easy to how do I want to phrase this? It's very easy to miss details that way, I feel like. Miss optimizations, miss better ways of coding, stuff like that. Okay. I'm adding an end line onto the end of my files just because it's going to annoy me, because all the other files that I have lines on the end of them. Except for that one, apparently. What? I thought all of my files had lines on it. Am I losing it? Am I losing it? Am I crazy? This file does. This file does. Okay, some of my files do. Okay, I'm not entirely crazy, just only a little bit. Next project, web dev. Oh god, no. Please. Get me as far away from web dev as possible, man. I do it as a job. I get my fill. I'm good. I don't need web dev side projects. The whole web dev ecosystem is a bit of a nightmare. And like, don't get me wrong, you can absolutely build incredibly cool and effective products. But my I don't know. I feel like I would always have that voice in the back of my head that's like, you're not doing this in the best way. And I wouldn't have the ability to, stop that voice, because there wouldn't be a way for me to do it any better. because web dev is just kind of like a nightmare. JavaScript was never meant to be what it is today. Anyway, I think we're done. Potentially. That's why I always recommend when they ask me how to learn Angular or React or a SPA framework is to make one SPA with vanilla JS, and that will teach them the basics of how they work under the hood, and it becomes easier to understand because now it's just learning and sugary syntax of the framework. Yeah. Sorry, getting text messages. Sorry. Okay. But yeah, no, I agree. It's good to learn that stuff. You get a lot better of an idea of how the software as a whole works. Okay. Let's shut everything down except for one file because it's gonna bother me. Okay. Has this been connected the whole time? I feel like it has. Let's disconnect that. It's not a problem, but you know. Okay, let's build, and then what I'm gonna do, desktop, I should have a backup of all of this information. I've got a backup on my desktop, and I think I won't need it. You want to see the v4 of my bot's website? Yes. I don't think I have the link anymore. And I don't know if you're allowed to post a link in chat. So if you want to like DM me or just tell me what the website is and I can Google it or something. But yeah, that'd be cool. I'm pretty sure this is okay. Wait. One thing that I just thought of is the resource manager creates this custom data directory. Is that a problem that it's static like this? I think it is a problem, but I'm gonna choose to ignore it. I think that's the best way to go about this. Localhost 3000. Oh, you can post links. Okay, cool. You must be special. Meet Dom Dimobot, your ultimate Twitch chat companion. Enhance your Twitch streaming experience with Dom Dimobot. Engage your audience, moderate chats, and boost your channel's interactivity. Log in with Twitch or join the Discord. Nice. Smart chat moderation. Automatically filter spam, and inappropriate content to keep your chat clean. Custom commands. Create personalized commands to interact with your audience effortlessly. Easy integration. Seamlessly integrate Dom Dimobot with your Twitch channel in just a few clicks. I've said this before, but you have so many quotable lines when Stonebot isn't listening. Okay. Let's do this. Let's try and put Stonebot up because I just implemented all of the commands theoretically. Hopefully nothing breaks. But let's see if it actually works. Okay. It should be up and running now if you want to try adding commands. I forgot all the quotes now, though. Dang it, Glitch. I told you to remember. Yeah, exclaim hi is not one of the commands. Sorry. Okay. Easy integration. Pricing. Choose your plan and start engaging your audience today. $0 free forever with limited features. Smart chat moderation, unlimited simple custom commands, basic analytics. Oh, that's kind of cool. That's nice that it adds analytics. $6 premium plan with all features and more limits, advanced chat moderation, priority support, detailed analytics, advanced chat moderation. Okay, I wonder what the difference between smart and advanced is. $15 more automated chat moderation and AI integration. AI chat moderation, priority support, detailed analytics. Okay. So $9 additional. Is this a monthly fee or is this a flat rate? Because if it's a monthly thing, $9 for what seems to be the only difference is AI chat moderation. Because like nowadays you can get pretty decent chat moderation for free, if not like really low. So I will say that $9 just for that seems a bit much. $6. I mean, I guess it depends on the features here, but like, yeah, more detailed analytics seems like a good thing here. It is monthly. Okay, I'm gonna have to search the VOD for him now. Okay, you don't have to do that. I mean, you can if you want to, but you don't have to. Yes, it's monthly. Yeah, I need to add more stuff in there, like more file size upload, 10 gigabyte file storage for triggers and more. Yeah, that'd be cool. It's a placeholder for now. Gotcha. Ready to elevate your Twitch stream? Join thousands of streamers who has transformed their channels with Dom Dimabot. By signing, you agree to terms and conditions. Nice. Log in with Twitch. Oh my god, sorry. Flash warning. I should have warned you. My bad. Oh, okay, this just scrolls down. Nice. Sweet. What does your Discord look like? Dimabot. Sure, take me to Discord. Why not? Yes, open the app. That's what I... Why do you think I'm clicking the links? Did it work? Am I in? I don't see it on my Discord. Why do I not see it in my Discord? Discord? I don't see it. Am I missing something? The link is broken. Oh, okay. Flashbang. Sorry. I'm sorry. Okay. I was wondering. I was like, I'm trying. I promise. All right. Cool. Nice. Yeah. The jump to $6. I don't know. Like I feel like more detailed analytics and better chat moderation is definitely worth it. It depends on like what exactly it is. This has kind of been like a frustration for me when potentially buying software, is that I feel like they never give me enough information to actually make a good decision. Because it's like, I don't know what this means. I'm sure it's great. I'm sure it's phenomenal. I just don't know what it is. I love the graphs of the dashboard though. Go to here. Let's take a look at it. Announcement? Annuncio! Promo shout out. Create prediction. Yeah, I gotta do this stuff. Creating predictions and polls, that'd be cool. What is this one? I cannot read. Change title, change game, cancel prediction. These are cool. Lock prediction. Create poll. More. Okay, so I assume these are custom ones. End prediction. Only emotes. Create custom command. These are good ones. These are good ones. Speech chat. What is this one? No description provided. I'm sad now. The bot has advanced commands. More redemption settings allows you to do your own overlay for clips and triggers for alerts in OBS. But yeah, I need to show what you actually get in there, but it's worth it. It sounds like it, yeah. Redemption settings, Red Dead Redemption 2. Yeah, so I don't remember the name of the thing that I'm using to allow for TTS. But it was kind of cool because it would allow you to like turn on and off channel point redemptions depending on the category that you're in. Like if you're in, like some people have commands or not commands, point redemptions that are specific to certain games. So you could have those automatically be turned on and off, which I thought was cool. Oh, clear chat. Interesting. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Skin Club? Dom, are you... Is this like... Are you collecting? Is that what this club is about? You can technically do that with the bot. Oh, cool. Lethal? Oh my god. Are you killing people and then skinning them? Is that what this is? And you're doing it softly? Create timer. Oh. Exclamation point LOL. Should I add that? An etc. timer. Nice. Spotify song request. Nice. Unraid? What does that do? Announcement shout. Wait. Announcement shout out. Those already existed though. Announcement and shout out. Except these ones are lowercase. I made 450 profit out of CS2 skins. Nice. Oh, I see. Okay. That's what that means. All right. If you hover over message, it shows a toast that says the full command. Create clip. Okay. Unraid. Still don't know what that one is. Create clip. More. Again, these look like duplicates, but these ones are capital and the other ones were lowercase. Duel? So you are murdering people. I see. You're having them duel against each other. GitHub. Should I add a GitHub command? I feel like nobody's going to use it. Sumitest. Nobody even uses the Discord command, man. Nobody likes me. Cards. Oh. Yo. It's the card layout. Let's go. This is cool. This is what I want my dashboard to look like. I mean, not exactly like this, but you know. Sweet. At CDOM201 commands. Nice. If game equals will you snail redeem 15 blindfold attempts on level enabled true. Yeah. No, I'm gonna have to turn off TTS for the blindfolded stuff. Because it'll be fun. Sorry. I might have to call it there. I wanted to play Undertale, but that took a lot longer than I was expecting. It was fun though. Exclaim hub skill issue. I'd use the GitHub command. Glitch, don't lie to me. This just leads to your GitHub, right? Yeah, it looks like it. There's nothing interesting on my GitHub. What is my what's my usage here? Yeah. I'm so incredibly active on my GitHub. Yeah, you're gonna find all kinds of cool stuff. You want to test the bot? Is it possible for me to test the bot? Oh, I would have to like authorize and stuff. I'm probably not gonna do that, but it looks cool. Shameless plug. I mean, like, if I could get, you know, maybe the pro plan for a little bit of a discount, then maybe. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. TTS don't go right. Okay, to be fair, that's like most of the game, so that probably wouldn't help anyway. I need documentation for the bot, that's for sure. Yeah. More documentation always helps. It's such a pain to do, though. No Undertale. Yeah, I'm sorry. My help is being requested, and I'm like hesitant about it. So I completed 3 Seasides in Celeste during the stream. Dang. Congrats. I don't remember which levels I did when I played. I think like I only did the levels that were necessary to get to the top. So I have like no idea how difficult the other sides are. I tried. I will give you 3 months for free of pro. No. I'm not gonna do that. I appreciate the offer, but I'm not gonna do that. It's 3 in the morning and I need sleep. Good night, everyone. I'm so sorry. I kept you up till 3 and I'm not even doing Undertale. I'm so sorry. I feel bad now. Okay, out of respect, I'm not going to do Undertale. I'm going to save Undertale. I'm going to do a dedicated Undertale stream, all right? Stone, just so I know, are you planning any streams this week or Friday as usual? I want to stream tomorrow. Let me check that I don't have anything going on. Yeah, so I'll try streaming tomorrow because we don't have speed sailing Saturday. I don't know about Sunday. But tomorrow I'm planning on streaming. And then yeah, weekdays, like there are a couple of days where I've wanted to stream and it just hasn't worked out because I've either been tired or had other stuff to do. Good to know in advance, thanks. Yeah. I kind of struggle with keeping everything updated, so I apologize for that. But yeah, have a good night. I appreciate you being here. It was fun. But yeah, I will also call it a stream there. I haven't tested it fully, but I think the bot is working. So we'll have to test it next stream, I guess. I'm giving 6 discount codes for 3 months of Pro free for testers. Yeah, but probably still no. Probably still not. Sorry. Anyway, yeah, so most likely Undertale tomorrow. I'll try and keep you updated. That's fine. I appreciate you. Bye bye. Yep. See you later. Thanks for being here. I appreciate everybody. What time? Probably a little bit earlier than normal, but not like super, super early. We'll see. Anyway, see ya.